Better get the coleslaw, y'all, cause we're having us a barbecue.
Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose. The man who rules the world runs into the irresistible force of a man with nothing to lose in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get the regular and variant editions of John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose on Amazon.com today.
Hi everyone, it's Sean here with a comic review video. Now, I'm a big fan of the Milestone universe, but I am not a fan of the Milestone relaunch. And I'm not a fan of the Milestone relaunch because Reginald Hudlin's vision for the Milestone relaunch is far removed from that of the late great Dwayne McDuffie and other original Milestone creators like Ivan Velez Jr., who was the original writer of the Blood Syndicate. Now, I wasn't a fan of this relaunch because, again, Reginald Hudlin seems like he wants to go his own way with other people's characters, and he doesn't want to stay true to the heart of those characters. No, what he wants to do is push his own vision onto these Milestone characters in an effort to try to make himself a superstar at the expense of some of this source material. Now, the Milestone characters are absolutely fantastic when they're written by master craftspeople, and your Reginald Hudlin and the staff he's gotten clearly are not qualified to work on these characters. And that really shows in this 5th issue of Blood Syndicate, where we see that your Hudlin really does not understand the craft of storytelling, because he goes out here and emasculates the Icon character in this 5th issue of Blood Syndicate in an effort to go out here and make the Blood Syndicate appear to be the big heroes, and this is something that a good writer would never do. Because when you have your flagship character needs to be protected, because if they are the strongest character, they are the foundation of your universe. But what your Hudlins does here with the Blood Syndicate is go out here and just basically nerfs Icon the same way that Marvel Studios went out here and nerfed Hulk and Thor in Avengers Infinity War, and we saw what happened to the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe after they went out here and emasculated their 2 strongest heroes. Now, I can understand why they wanted to do this, to try to build up the Blood Syndicate, but you don't build up a team by tearing down your flagship character. Now, in this 5th issue of Blood Syndicate Season 1, we get the Holocaust, again, destroying Paris Island. He burns down the bridge, and then after he burns down the Paris Island bridge, we get your Holocaust and his team going out here looking to wreak havoc. And as a result, we get your Rocket coming in to go out here and fight. And as your Rocket and your Icon are going to fight Holocaust, they are just basically nerfed in this issue. And basically what your Hudlin does is he damages his own universe and damages the whole overall foundation of his universe. Because if your strongest hero gets jobbed out in an issue, it just really does not make your universe look strong. I mean, if you're nerfing your strongest hero and making him look weak to make this bad guy look bad, it doesn't really help you when you're trying to build a universe. Because when the late great Dwayne McDuffie came out here and had the Icon Holocaust confrontation, he did so to make Icon look strong, because he understood that your flagship hero, who is the most powerful one in your universe, needs to look strong. But in this 5th issue of Blood Syndicate, they go out here and make Icon look weak. And when you make your strongest hero look weak, you've basically destroyed the entire foundation of your universe, because nobody's going to respect your hero if your hero gets taken out by a supervillain from another group overall. So, in his efforts to try to make the Blood Syndicate be relevant, he basically makes his entire universe irrelevant, because if your Holocaust can go out here and beat the brother from another planet, then nobody needs to care about the new Milestone universe. So this was a major fumbled football by Milestone when they did this issue, and this issue basically does a lot more damage to the Blood Syndicate, because the Blood Syndicate, while they were the baddest gang, Icon basically was able to take them in Icon number 4 and 5. And again, in this issue, you basically nerf Icon, and when you nerf Icon, you basically destroy your own structure for your universe. And again, if I was a part of Editorial at Milestone, this book would have never gone to print until they took out those scenes where Icon was getting nerfed like this. And the way I would have done it was say, okay, if you got your Icon, he's away at on some other mission or some other part of the world while this was going on, or he's on some other on another part of the country taking care of another matter, and that would have made it make more sense, and it would have protected the Icon character, and it would have protected the overall foundation of the universe. And with Icon away, they would say, okay, Icon can't be everywhere all the time, so now the Blood Syndicate have to step in and take on Holocaust in order to prevent him from tearing apart Paris Island and pushing his reign of terror. That would have been a better story point that would have, again, protected Milestone's heroes, protected Milestone's universe. But when I look at what was done here, you've basically destroyed the entire universe, which was already damaged due to Jeremiah Lord and that horrible storyline where we had your Icon basically killing Jefferson Davis. I mean, the Milestone relaunch is not going very well, because the writers are too in their feelings about things, and they're not thinking critically about how their story points are going to impact the overall universe. Because when I go out here and put fingers to keyboard, I have to think about how events in one story are going to play in another, and I'm also have to think about how events in one story are going to affect the future. And when you have your main hero, your head hero, basically emasculated and made to look weak, it's hard to build that character up and make that character strong for future issues and future storylines. And this whole page basically is the nail in the coffin for Milestone 2.0, and it just shows what happens when you don't really know what you're doing as a publisher. And again, your Reginald Hudlin, he used to know something about film. I mean, he did House Party about 30 years ago, but when it comes to comics, he's a comic fan, but he's not a comic publisher, because a comic publisher understands that he has to watch what he does, and he has to understand that you just can't put panels like this in your book, and you can't have panels like this one right here, where you have Icon looking like a complete bitch. I mean, this panel right here basically ruins the Icon character and keeps him from being looked at as somebody comic fans can admire and respect. I mean, you've turned him into a punk, and all to try to make the Blood Syndicate appear to be relevant. And that's not how you go out here and build up a villain. No, that's how you go out here and ruin a hero. And if this guy is supposed to be the symbol to stand for, you've basically broken the symbol in just one issue, because you've already damaged him with that whole Jefferson Davis scenario. But this further damages the character and further damages the structure of the Milestone universe, and just basically shows me that while these characters were great at one time, they've just been ruined by creators who don't understand the craft of writing, don't understand the craft of storytelling, and really cannot go out here and effectively understand how the medium of comics works. I mean, to have these characters done like this just makes me absolutely disgusted, because I know how great the Milestone characters can be when they have a good writer, but this just is absolute garbage. And if I bought this comic at a comic shop, I possibly would be acting like Diversity in comics back in the day, and this one would be getting ripped. But I didn't. This thing just absolutely disgusts me, because I hate to see these characters mishandled. Because as somebody who grew up with these characters back in the 90s and know how great they are again, and these characters were another major influence on me working on my own SJS Direct universe, I mean, it just pains me to see these characters just completely mishandled by writers who don't understand how to get to story points without going out here and destroying another character to build up another character. Just again, really poor writing as related to the Blood Syndicate that really doesn't capture the heart of what the original Icon 4 and 5 were. I mean, this is just absolute garbage, and it just absolutely disgusts me when I look at this issue of Blood Syndicate and to look at the way these characters have been, again, just completely mishandled, because this story really doesn't give us any sort of hope that the original Milestone did. It just shows us how bad things have gotten under the incompetent leadership of Reginald Hudlin. Now, if you want to try my first comic, Eastie No Good Deed, you can pick it up on Kindle for 99 cents. And if you want to pick up some of my action-packed African American fantasy fiction on the SJS Direct imprint, like the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, the John Haynes series, and the books of the Spinsterella trilogy, you can find all those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them on Smashwords, the iBook Store, and Google Play. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, My Sister, My Frenemy. It's a sister act as the goddess next door and the devilish diva team up in this action-packed Isis series adventure. Get Isis, My Sister, My Frenemy in paperback and e-readers everywhere.